A new tourist tax is incoming, and catching Omicron on purpose is a really stupid idea. All that coming up on today's Good Morning Thailand. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay, and this is Tim Newton.
Ladies and gentlemen, and Robert New.
Oh, Robert New. Love
Yes.
Robert New.
Yeah, we love Robert.
He's our favorite.
Hi, everybody, and just up front, addressing a comment here from White Cat. Thank you very much to all the people joining us on our live chat. He says, or asked the question, what are the rules for flying domestically in Thailand? Are COVID tests required? Just looking out the window, and in this little area, you wouldn't want to really be flying right now. I mean, bright blue skies, but there's quite a strong easterly breeze.
Yes.
Your plane would be taking off, heading down the eastern runway at Phuket Airport in about 100 metres, I think.
Yes.
So the rules, as far as I know, is that you need to be fully vaccinated and you show your vaccination certificate. Now, depending on the airline you're with, there may be situations where people are either enforcing that checking of the vaccination certificates. I mean, as I said a couple of weeks ago, I think I could have shown them a recipe for pad thai, and they probably would have gone, yeah, whatever. But other ones, they do is actually go through it and check it and flip it over and read the other side and hold it. So they basically check your vaccination certificates. You don't need any COVID test, but if you haven't been vaccinated, some airlines have, and I'm not sure exactly which airlines they are now, but some airlines will allow you on the plane if you've got a current PCR test that's been taken in the past 72 hours. But check with your airline. But basically, you can fly anywhere in Thailand. The flights are still going. All the domestic airlines are still flying, but you will need to be fully vaccinated.
All right. Our main topic today is regarding a 300 baht tourist tax. Now, a lot of you might have seen this on the title, or I've heard about it a couple of months ago, and initially even I thought 300 baht doesn't seem that bad. It doesn't seem like a lot. However, there have been many complaints regarding the introduction of this tourist tax. Now, it was supposed to start on the 1st of January. However, it's been delayed to the 1st of April. But many different organizations, many officials have come out to suggest that perhaps they should scrap the entire tax idea, even though it's not very expensive. It doesn't feel right to add that tourist tax right now. So,
as I'm sipping on my BYD Lofts Nam Plau.
That's right. Kun Marisa, Sukosun Nun Bhatki. Wow,
Sorry, what was her name?
That's a very difficult name.
Marissa's not that difficult.
Kun Marisa.
Kun Marissa, okay.
Kun Marisa
Yeah.
Sukosun Nanbhatki, who's the president of the Thailand Hotels Association. She said
her name cards would be about this long.
Yeah. If the country wants to welcome back tourists, the tourism fee has to be put up at least until 2023, she says, as the sector has to rebuild from the ground up because of the Omicron variant. Now, the idea of the fund, even though it's not expensive, it's about, she's saying mainly that it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. Any initial comments?
Well, I mean, they were going to introduce this tourist tax
Yes.
on January the 1st, as you mentioned. They've had these arrival, departure, tourism taxes in the past, and I think there's still one departure tax still going. I'm not 100% sure. They're usually added into the airfares, so you sort of don't really know.
Yes.
Yes, you would say that April the 1st, things may be better than they are now. They may be worse than they are now. We don't know. Talking about it at the moment is probably just really bad timing, given that the amount of tourists coming to Thailand, the amount of travellers generally, is going to really slump in a big way over the next month or so. So I think bad timing.
Yes.
The idea of having a tourist tax where some of the money is going to be spent on tourist insurance,
Yes.
Now that's a really good idea because there are still tourists, can you believe, in 2000 and, the third decade of the 21st century, people coming to travel to Thailand without proper insurance. Now, some people end up having some sort of incident, they clog up the hospitals, they then have problems paying their bill because they don't have insurance. So if they are going to use some of this money to make sure that every tourist is insured, well, I think that's a really good idea. If they're going to charge more and then start saying, well, we're going to spend it on infrastructure, and then I'm going to start to worry about how that money's going to be spent.
Well, let me just add this quickly. The fee is expected to be transferred to the Tourism Transformation Fund, which is managed by the Tourism and Sports Ministry. This fund aims to rebuild and develop tourism supply chains as well as offer safety and security for tourists.
So sorry, what were those two things? Tourism supply chains?
Tourism supply chains as well as offer safety and security for tourists. Now,
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Tourism supply chains.
Yes.
That just sounds like a complete word salad. What does it mean?
Well, the fee are supposed to sponsor an insurance program for tourists in case of accidents, offering tourist benefits worth up to 1 million baht in case of death or a minimum 500,000 baht for medical expenses.
Great. I think that's a perfectly good way to spend that money to make sure that when people come to this country, that the infrastructure in the country, particularly the hospitals,
Yes.
are not disadvantaged in any way by either foolish tourists or tourists that have a misadventure but don't have insurance.
Now, this was actually discussed in 2019 and it's been delayed and delayed and delayed until now. And I guess the date as of right now is April the 1st, 2022.
Which happens to be...
Yes, April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day.
Surprise! We were joking the whole time.
Why introduce anything on April Fool's Day? I mean, they're setting themselves up for a fall.
But, all right, my last question regarding this topic. Do you think, because this tax will actually be applied onto the airplane ticket. It's not like you get to the airport and, have $10 on you, something like that. But what do you think about this tourist tax? Do you think it's the right time to add it now, or do you think they shouldn't do it at all?
Look, I do think that having a tourist tax which is directed to specific programs that they publish and then they sort of enforce and follow through with is a perfectly good idea. A lot of places around the world have got arrival, departure, tourism taxes, and that's fine for Thailand as well. The problem with Thailand is that people assume that you're forking out $10 as you walk out the door and it's going into the pocket of somebody. I mean, you've got to just forget about that and assume that it's going to be properly dispensed. And the Thai government are perfectly able to administer these sort of tourist taxes.
But
it's just bad timing right at the moment. They shouldn't be talking about it now.
It's like the classic line from Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan until they're punched in the face. My point being that they have a plan. There's other ways to ensure that people get insurance. You don't need to increase the tourist tax just to make sure that happens. Now, they've got a good plan. I'm not necessarily against the plan. However, they're going to get punched in the face if tourists decide not to show up.
You're perspiring.
Am I?
You've got the Richard Nixon thing going on with the sort of the moist
Oh, no,
lip.
that's just the water from
okay.
BYD Lofts. that I'm
BYD
drinking.
Lofts, which is where we are today.
That's right.
This couple are here again. They're not paid. They actually are staying at BYD Lofts. If you want to stay at BYD Lofts at the moment and you're coming in on the sandbox,
Yeah.
highly recommended. There's some promo going on.
That's right. One word, no capitals, the Thaiger code for a 10% discount.
The Tiger is spelt.
Thaiger.
Okay.
All right. So yes, I do, to finish off that line, I don't think now would be the right time to add it. I don't think they should add it at all, to be honest. I feel like if it really is for the purpose of insurance and making sure for the safety of tourists coming into the country, there are other measures that can be taken rather than adding more tax.
Sorry to pick you up, Jay.
Yes.
But this morning you walked in,
Yes.
I don't know, about 7 o'clock, and you said, this 300 baht tourist tax, does it really matter?
Yes,
But you've changed your mind.
I have.
Okay.
Because, normally when I first heard of it, initially I was like, 300 baht is not a lot. However, in this economy where we're trying so hard to bring back tourism, something that we heavily rely on, the last thing you want is to make someone feel bad. Like, even if it makes one person feel bad, it's not worth it. It's like It's not really
Makes me
mean-spirited.
cry.
Yeah, it's not mean-spirited, but some people like it, some people are okay with it, some people don't. So just stop it.
Hello, Tim. Nice shirt, says Bob B.
Okay, cool.
We've also got Lofty here. Is it
Yes.
Lofty?
Well, yes,
No,
Boyd
Boyd.
Lofty.
Boyd Lofty.
Boyd Lofty.
Can you see him in the camera? Oh,
Yes.
there he is, just peering up in the bottom of the screen there.
Right. Now, talking about tax, the cabinet has actually approved the purchases.
But speaking of bad timing,
Of 4 fighter jets.
well, the good news is that they were hoping that the Air Force was trying to get 8
Yes.
new fighter jets,
But instead, they decided to buy only 4. Oh no.
so we can only protect half the borders of Thailand, not the what you. Okay, you can get into the whole question of why does Thailand need 8 fighter jets in the first place.
Well, let me tell you. Firstly, they estimated a budget of about 13.8 billion baht to be paid over 4 years, fiscal years, for these jets. But the Air Force says the purchase is necessary to replace the F-16 Falcon jets they have been operating for nearly 40 years.
Okay, so these old jets are obviously going to have safety issues.
Risks.
They're going to need a lot more maintenance, and that's going to be a cost. Okay, so at some stage, a modern, progressive, sovereign country that wants to protect its borders is probably going to have some sort of fighter jets. And the thing about these ones is they're getting them, I think, from Lockheed Martin in the United
They're
States.
considering it, yes. Heavily considering that.
They're the ones that make those sort of the black stealth jet range.
the cool ones.
Some of them got power steering, other ones got sort of electronic windows,
With
go
the
up
flaps.
and down. So all sorts of variants you can get. These ones, though, the government said the reason they're looking at them is because there's a 40% discount on the jets at the moment.
Oh,
and
we
they
love
can,
a discount in Thailand.
They can pick them up. I think they're $80 million each, which is significantly less than they used to be. So
It's 40% discount on jets.
any Thai will go for that because there's a discount.
Not just any Thai, I think anyone would. If you're buying a fighter jet and you get a 40% discount on it, and if you're not buying it, it's money wasted.
So they have to go online and they've got to show the promo code to Lockheed Martin when they pick up the jet.
Yeah.
To
We
get
should invite them to BYD Lux.
What, with the fighter jet?
Well, they clearly,
Where are they going to land, Jay?
they clearly like discounts.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break.
Again,
Yeah.
I think the problem with this particular story is you would probably have to assume that after 40 years, a bit of investment in their Air Force is not a bad thing.
Yes.
But bad timing.
We're just not good with timing in
No,
here.
just
Yeah.
really bad timing.
It's hashtag
Maybe
Thai time.
they should be announcing this one on April the 1st.
It's all good though. Let's take a quick break. Once we return from the break, we're going to be talking more about partygoers flaunting their positive COVID-19 results.
I think flouting.
Flouting? Flaunting?
Not flaunting.
Flaunting is...
Flouting.
Okay, I apologize. Flouting their positive COVID-19 results, as well as a piece that Tim Newton did on why you should not intentionally try to get COVID-19. That's all coming up after the break.
Find the coffee roast you love most. Coffee Culture delivers Thai coffee online. Whole beans or pre-ground delivered to your doorstep in Thailand. Go to coffeeculture.asia and get coffee you love delivered to your doorstep.
Welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay. This is Tim.
Didn't get a moment to catch my breath.
Yes. The show must go on.
Right, here
The
we
show
are.
must go on. Sorry, Jason, which ad did you play during the break, by the way? Coffee Culture.
Who?
Coffee. Who? How dare you? Who do you think made your ground coffee this morning?
Oh, it was Coffee Culture.
Well, it was made by me, but I got the beans from Coffee Culture.
And if I want to buy Coffee Culture coffee,
Yes.
where would I go, Jay?
Well, that's easy. You just go onto your phone or your laptop and go to coffeeculture.com and you can buy your own ground coffee beans as well as grounded coffee.
And thank you, Coffee Culture.
Yes.
Can I just interrupt before we move on
Yeah.
and say there are a lot of upsides to living in Thailand. I love living here. There are 3 or 4 really big reasons why I love living here. There's also a million tiny little reasons which are little daily annoyances. This is one of them. So I have to go to immigration today
Yes.
and do my 1 year extension something or other. And this is the paperwork and all the things I have to sign. So I'm going to be at immigration all afternoon. Look at that, I mean, for heaven's sake.
That's just for an extension, is it?
Yeah, I think it's also, I've changed my passport. I haven't changed my passport, I've got a new passport.
But isn't this the Australian consulate and then
No.
embassy?
This is all, okay, so half of it is transfer stamp to new passport form, and then the other one is application for extension of temporary stay in the kingdom. So I'm here on a year-by-year basis, even
Yes.
though I've been here for nearly 11 years. So I won't be seeing much of you this afternoon, Jay.
Fair enough.
If you want to come and say hello to me, I'll be at immigration in Phuket.
I will survive. All right, moving on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the show, please click the like button for me.
Oh!
As well, we have important news. I think we are about 90 subscribers away from 100,000.
Yeah, let's check this out, Jay, because we may pass 100,000 during this program.
That's right.
With a little bit of help from you. Oh, it's gone backwards.
Oh no.
What's happened there?
What's happened there?
It was about 99,920. Now it's 99,840.
We've lost 100 subscribers in this show itself.
We should.
No, what
I
happens
told
is,
you to wear the other shirt, really.
What happens is, let's say, for example, if we got 100 subscribers this morning, YouTube takes time to reflect that number onto the channel. So what it does is it verifies to see if the accounts are real. So perhaps, sometimes some fake accounts are created. So if anything, our numbers are real.
Yeah. So we may pass 100,000, although looking at that, we might fall short.
How far are we? 160 left, is it?
160 of you out there are watching and enjoying and haven't subscribed. You could kick us over 100,000.
Yeah.
The 100,000th subscriber is going to get a night out with Jay and a drive in his very expensive car.
Yes.
Mind you, there's no way we can track who the 100,000th subscriber is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bob J saying Jay's making up stuff again. Maybe I am. What are you going to do about it, Bob? Get over it. Whew. There's a lot of complainers, aren't they? But thank you to all the viewers who are on the live show. We appreciate the support you've been giving us so far. Let's get on with the show. So
sorry.
Yeah.
PG Sanders says, nice shirts, guys. And then Tech Symbol says, do they make them for men?
That's a good one. That's
Okay.
a good one. That's a good
Ha
one.
ha ha.
Tony K and Don Patrick Lau, if you're watching, thank you for being Thaiger members and supporting the channel.
We rate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, I was actually sent a picture from Ian today. Can I quickly show this?
Which one's this?
So this one was, he sent a picture where he saw a beer and he was immediately reminded by me.
Yes.
Jason's showing this one. It's the classic Canadian lumberjack beer.
Yes.
So if you're living in Canada and you're a lumberjack, can you only have that beer? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think the problem with you being a lumberjack is you're really going to have to get the beard going as well.
Yeah.
You're not a proper lumberjack unless you've got a bit of facial hair.
Well, that's the thing. I think maybe some of the viewers know. But when you met me, I had a full set of beard.
No.
Yes.
I never saw you with a beard.
I had a full set of beard and I had a ponytail.
I didn't see you looking like that. I can honestly say if you turned up like that, I wouldn't have hired you.
Really?
I would have thought...
Or maybe I shaved just for the interview. Who knows?
Yeah, you definitely didn't turn up with a beard and a ponytail.
Why would you have not
You
hired
wouldn't be
me
sitting-
if I showed up in a beard?
No, it wouldn't have happened.
Even though I work behind the scenes.
Reject.
All right. Let's actually talk about some news. Now, Koh Phangan, where the full moon party happens, a lot of partygoers have been flouting and or flaunting their COVID-19 test results, which have actually come out to be positive. So, Jason, could you show a picture? There's a picture of one particular partygoer. You can find this story on thetiger.com, where she has 3 positive COVID-19 results with a caption saying, "How did I get here?"
Yeah, that's a really good question.
And another picture of her partying in the middle of the full moon party. And this seems to have now become a trend where a lot of these tourists are enjoying themselves, having a party with positive results, and continuing to party as if I've got COVID, so
And they're
what?
proud of it.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, this also goes for all these people that are going to the bars at the moment.
Yeah.
And again, flouting the rules. And it's all very well that the police aren't enforcing these switch-off times at 9 p.m. at night. It's all very well for the bar owners to try and do their best to get their businesses going.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're just becoming super spreaders.
Yes.
And there's no other way of apologising for it. You are not helping the situation.
Yep. And so if you did go to the full moon party, please go take an ATK test and be responsible.
Can I also, do we have that other graphic, the flow chart? Have we got that? Has Jason got the flow chart?
Oh, he does not, but
we should get the flow chart.
I will send him the flow chart. Quick,
Send him the flow chart while
say
I talk
something
about...
for 30 seconds.
Oh, God. Okay, so say something for 30 seconds. We are going to be talking about an editorial I wrote last night on thetiger.com, which has had plenty of comment. And the head of the headline was, it's a really stupid idea to go and intentionally catch Omicron at the moment. And we'll discuss the reasons why very soon.
Jason, accept?
As a sort of pray see the article, but the editorial is at, it's an opinion piece. It's my opinion. It's not that of the Tigers necessarily, and that's clearly stated in the article. But you can find that at thetiger.com if you want to start reading before we talk about it in just a moment.
Yeah. But, you know, not only is trying to get Omicron on purpose, I mean, it just sounds like an insane idea. But a common question is, why not catch Omicron and get it over with? You know, it's a mild cold, it'll boost immunity, and I'll be better for it, and I can just continue on with my life.
It's a funny situation where I think a lot of the world are just fed up with COVID-19. We're now heading into the third year, and people are saying, look, I'm just over it. I just want to get this damn disease and just move on. And I can really understand that.
Yeah.
But I also think that we're giving up. We're just sort of just letting our guard down, and we could be headed into more trouble if we take this sort of laissez-faire approach.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the reasons why in a moment. But if they were going to the moon and they got 3/4 of the way there and they thought, oh, it's a bit further than we thought it'd be. Oh, God, I'm missing my family. I think we'll turn around and go back. That's not the attitude we should have as humans. We are custodians of the planet. We're meant to be the smart ones. And yet we're just deciding en masse just to learn to live with it, get on with it. Let's get over and done with this thing. Now, a lot of people are using some early anecdotal evidence and also studies that show that Omicron has a much higher transmission rate, but also a lower lethality, a lower pathology, whereby people are less likely to be hospitalised, end up in ICU or die. Now, people are dying from Omicron. Let's make no mistake. In the USA today, I'll just check, 414,494 people were diagnosed, the majority with the Omicron strain, and 2,269 people died in hospital in the USA. Now, the US is a bit further ahead. It sort of was South Africa first, then it was the UK, then the US. So both the UK and the US now have a good month or so of data showing what's happening with Omicron that we can sort of map out on other parts of the world. A fairly swift rise and then hopefully a fairly swift fall. But these people that are dying in US hospitals, yesterday, just check, there's 2,400 people dying in US hospitals. You do die from Omicron. It's not, it is in many people a milder version of what people were getting with Delta. So this is what I was trying to point out, that it's all very well just to give up and say, let's learn to live with this. But there's also some risks, and we can get into some of those risks in a moment.
All right. If you do take an ATK test in Thailand, the health ministry has actually come out with a graphic to help you find out what to do next. Jason, as you can see this graphic, if you can, it's fairly simple. whether you come positive or negative, you can figure out what you need to do next. This is not a joke, by the way. This is a real graphic.
There's a popular blogger who, no, I won't go down that track, who has posted this with complete abandon of the irony of how ridiculous this flowchart is, and tried to make out that the Thai government is helping people by publishing something. Now, this looks to me more like the instructions of how to turn off a nuclear reactor if it starts to go completely out of control. What a ridiculous thing to post and try to give people confidence that you've got any idea of what the hell's going on. You also expect hotels to understand what's going on. People at the airports, the people who are like the frontline people looking after potential tourists who could be infected, to try and understand this flowchart. And then this popular blogger ended up by writing, I don't know, 1,000 words to support this flowchart, thinking that he was making it more easy to understand. I mean, for God's sake, this is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen in this whole pandemic.
It is what it is. It is what it is. All right.
So,
yes.
Where were you going now? Because I was just going to talk a bit more about why you shouldn't get COVID.
Okay, you can continue. I was going to go for a break.
Oh, you go for a break then?
All right. That's fine. Let's take a break. Once we come back from the break, we're going to take some viewer questions. So this would be the time to ask your questions, comments on any of the topics that we've discussed today, or any questions that you have regarding Thailand. So we'll be back right after this. Welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay, this is Tim. And it's now time to answer your questions. West Texas Greg says, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. What Kit Kat bar? Are you hiding some chocolate from me?
No.
Oh.
I'd know about it if there was. There'd be no Kit Kat for you.
A lot of the time people are just having a question or good time amongst each other. Nelson Dale says, can the government spend the new tourist tax money on finding ways to prevent tourists from getting scammed by taxi drivers, including in Phuket?
Sorry, what? Taxis in Phuket. What do you want me to say about them?
Can the government spend new tourist tax money on finding ways to prevent tourists from getting scammed by the taxi mafia? It's going to be very difficult.
I've been here for 11 years.
I've been here for 20 years.
And they've tried so many times. It is a cabal, it's a gang, it's something that nobody seems to be able to control. Many people have tried. You would have thought over the last 2 years they could have perhaps said, look, let's sit down and let's have a talk about this. Let's come to some sort of resolution. But no, the taxis are filling up the public car park spots again. They're ripping tourists off, the meters aren't working, and it still costs 600, 800 baht to get from the Phuket airport to a place like Patong.
Yeah. Do you expect Thailand to close when it hits 20,000 cases a day? I do not. We hit that already on our third wave. We were around that number. We didn't have a lockdown or a shutdown. We had strong restrictions. I would just expect more restrictions and not a lockdown.
Yeah, remember, a lockdown is like a pretty severe, draconian thing to do. We didn't have lockdowns last year at all. We had them in the very early days where we were basically told to stay at home, but that hasn't happened since. No, I don't think there's going to be any more. I don't think we're going to see more curfews and stuff. The other thing I spoke about, and please go and have a read of this editorial, and I know a lot of you are going to disagree with it, but the other reason to not go out and get COVID is the more people that have got COVID, the more people that are carrying the virus. And the more people carrying the virus, the more potential the virus has to mutate. And the more mutations, and there would be millions of mutations, but every now and then, most of those mutations will be benign, but every now and then there will be a mutation that can be more dangerous. And that gets passed on to the next person, and on it goes. Now, another interesting thing about COVID-19 and the Omicron virus, it's a study that came out last week showing that the Omicron variant may have come from mice. So I mean, it's a very, very long-winded report. There's a video posted on the editorial I did last night from Dr. John Campbell in the UK. He sort of goes through it in fair detail if you're interested, but explains it in a fairly easy manner as he does on his daily videos. The general thesis is that the original COVID-19 variant that came from Wuhan in China, COVID 1.1.1 or what it was called, is it appears that Omicron has come from this original virus. It then zoonotically got into the mice population, and then somehow in the last 2 years it's then jumped back from mice back to humans because COVID-19, a zoonotic disease, came from the animal kingdom, made its way into the human population. So this is a really interesting dynamic, that this Omicron variant may not just be another variant of like Delta or one of the latest incarnations of COVID-19, but it may indeed have come from mice as the COVID-19 virus jumped back from the animal population into humans. So another interesting twist. The longer the virus goes and the more people that have it, the more chance there is for more variants. That is something that I think it's all very well to go, let's just get this over and done with. But the virus is not over and done with us yet. And if you look at the history of these viral pandemics, they usually go a lot longer than 2 years. So don't just think by everybody catching it that suddenly we don't have anything to worry about. I think that's very dangerous, and it's not helpful thinking.
Wow.
Here we go. I'm just ready to read the hate.
Oh my God. So I feel like I've aged 2 years.
I'm sorry.
In the time you took to respond to that.
I'm sorry if I went. I just feel passionate about it.
No, I get it. That's all
I
good.
would rather us cope with COVID-19 rather than just learning to live with it. It just sounds like we've given up. That's just not the human spirit, not the spirit of the humans I know and love.
Okay, Hefwisen 101 has a very important question for you. Tim, did you ever try on a wig or look at plugs or just shave the rest of your hair and be like a Pattaya regular?
Pattaya regular. No, I've never looked at a wig. I sort of just shave my head once a week with a number 2.
Yeah.
I'm a bit rough around the edges at the moment. I could probably have a bit of a scratch, but no, I don't. If you go full bald, then you sort of got to do it every day.
Yeah.
And you've got to polish it, and I'm not really that fussed.
Well, Craig, the SLP, says, Jay, we need a picture with you with the beard and a ponytail. Well, Craig, thank you for firstly. Secondly, I would rather call it a man bun rather than a ponytail. I would say that's the proper word to call it, a man bun. I think one of the first member videos we made in Phuket when Good Morning Thailand hadn't even started yet, we were talking about, oh, hey, members, we're going to start Good Morning Thailand soon, and you were shooting a video in the studio in Phuket. Before we painted it and did everything.
Oh my goodness.
And I think I was setting up the wires and you said, oh, hey, Jay, say hello. So in that, so Craig, since you are a member, if you go to the members only videos, you could go to one of the early ones. I think you could definitely see me with a man bun there.
Marvin Paul says we have to learn to live with it, not extreme lockdowns or totally letting our guard down, somewhere in the middle. Well, Marvin, you're sort of on the right track. Yeah, I think we've got to be completely aware of what's going with this virus and follow the science, for heaven's sake.
Wait, Tony K's got an excellent question. He goes, Jay, what's the plan for 100,000 subscribers? Well, Tony K, I know I've made a lot of promises over the last couple of months.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not dressing up as Colonel Clink.
For whoever
Forget about it.
No, for whoever I have promised things, please let me know. You can send me an email. Oh, you can send us an email, or you can type in one of the
No, don't
comments
no.
what I promised. Because I'll definitely remember it, so please don't make up stuff.
Oh,
but
God.
I know for sure one person became a Thaiger member in the hopes that you would wear a monocle. So that's a must.
It's just not going to happen.
That's a must.
No,
we'll
it's
make
not
that
gonna
happen.
happen.
Tim Newton with a monocle. We're not saying, what's his name? Colonel something?
Colonel Clink.
Yeah, but it's not a Colonel Clink kind of thing. It's just you in a monocle. It could be anything.
I'm not wearing a monocle.
He's wearing a monocle.
I don't even know where to get a monocle from.
Yeah, and of course we'll try to do some special videos. Me and Natty will make a special video for the members, for all the viewers. Thank you for supporting us. We're almost there. I think we're 100 people away.
Greg Bender says, Tim, how do you look in the mirror? Well, the answer is very handsome. Thank you.
How do you look in the mirror, or like?
I think, how can you look at yourself in the mirror given what you said, I think, is what he's trying to say.
Okay.
If the virus can jump to animals, it will never be eradicated. Can always jump to animals, always jump to minks in the US. Virus is going to virus. Big bad man is not going to beat the virus. Mac Borokai. So just sort of cutting through what you're trying to say there. The longer this virus is out there, the more chance it has to jump species, the more chance it has to mutate. That's what viruses do.
Yep.
Oh,
Excuse me.
I thought he was
Yeah, I thought he was saying hello.
was
as well.
trolling you.
Ian Everywhere says, Tim, you must do the famous Van Damme kickboxer dance when it hits 100,000 subscribers. I approve of that message.
What's a Van Damme kickbox dance? I know Claude Van Damme. I know he does kickboxing,
yes.
but I haven't seen his
It's that scene where I
kickboxing
think
dance.
he's in like a bar restaurant, and then he just like puts his hands together and starts shaking. It's a classic Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So there's this whole subset of the population who have become science deniers. That they don't like the science.
Yes.
They find it inconvenient. They find it somehow, it messes up with their narrative. It messes up with the way that they want to conduct their lives. So they just deny it. And this is what you get from people like New Abnormal, Call Me Abby, or Norm, or Daddy, who says, science facts are today's half-truths. Oh, good God. This is the problem, where people are trying to skip the science and just cherry-pick bits that suits them. Science is just a list of facts that get changed over time as new evidence comes forward and then gets modified.
But is it their fault? Like, for example, different media outlets portray facts in different ways. A fact can be presented in a way where it is actually false.
I agree that, and I said in, I think, the third or fourth paragraph of my editorial, which is on the front page of thetiger.com, I'm pushing this, aren't I? I'm setting myself up for a
Tim's
big fall.
with the government. He's promoting vaccines. He's against Omicron. He's a naysayer. Hunt him down. Bring
Now,
out the pitchforks.
Forgot what I was going to say now. You've thrown me completely. I don't know what I was going to say.
I think this is
What did you ask me? Something about science? Oh, yeah. I said that the behaviour of the governments and the media during this pandemic has been abysmal. And so, yes, there have been some media from one side of politics and from the other, particularly in the US, where this polarised media is a real big thing and a real big problem for Americans to sort out. I don't know how they will. And also in Australia, there's like Sky News, which has suddenly, in the 10 years since I've been there, become this sort of right-wing conservative science denier voice in the media. And this is a problem where you get one side of the media just pushing their own barrow, and they're just cherry-picking facts that support their side of politics. And this is just dangerous. We would have never have got to the moon if we treated science like that. There is right and there is wrong when it comes to science. There are things that work and things that don't work. Over time, we find new facts. We test them, and then they become not theory, they become fact. But at the moment, when facts don't suit people, they just, we won't talk about that. We'll just choose the facts that suit our particular narrative. This is really dangerous.
All right.
And if you want to say the Thaiger's done a really bad job reporting COVID, well, I'd say maybe we could have done better. I think we've been fairly responsible and we've followed the science. We have entertained and published some of the conspiracy theory stuff, saying some people are saying this, but we haven't entertained it in such a way that we've produced it or published it as fact in any way. I think we've been fairly responsible. Could we have done it better? Probably. I mean, we do take our role fairly seriously, despite what some of you might think.
All right, last and final question. PG Santa says, how do the bars look like now? There's a video coming out this afternoon regarding the current entertainment and bar...
What?
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. There's a current...
How are the bars going, Jay?
Thank you for the question, Tim. There's a video that me and Jason did about the current situation of bars and entertainment industry in Patong right now in Phuket, and that will be coming out this afternoon, so stay tuned for that. I had a loading problem. My brain stopped functioning for a second.
About 20 years ago.
With all the information that you've been putting in there.
Nelson Dales, thank you, Nelson. He's got a much better definition of science. He says medical science is not a list of facts, but it's a way of understanding what is objectively true based on current information. It's theories that are fluid as we learn more over time. Nelson, you nailed it. Thank you very much for producing a much better sort of indication of what medical science is than I did before. Thank you.
Sick Puppy says, Jay and Tim must have sampled some of the great green today. Memory issues. Ha ha ha, says Sick Puppy. Thank you for the comment, Sick Puppy. I can confirm we have not sampled any of the green today. But we did meet our friend Mary this morning. Last
Mary?
name Jane. Yeah. Mary Jane from Spider-Man.
You met Mary Jane this morning? Mary Jane? I'm reading code.
He's showing signs already.
Oh, God. I just lost that one.
All right, let's end the show now. I think we've gone on a bit too long
Do
now.
the members have a sneak peek of the new channel Bounce?
Yes, we're going on 42 minutes. So Bounce is our new entertainment channel. It will be launched on Monday. We're uploading videos right now so that when you do go to the channel, you don't just see a blank screen. However, we have actually already prepared content that will be launched only and exclusively on the new channel. So stay tuned for that. Monday is the day to wait. However, I tell you what, by tomorrow you'll have a link to click and you can visit the we can visit the YouTube channel and click like on it.
And we've now
In fact, you're on the channel right now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm on the 99,838. It's gone down again.
We've lost 2 subscribers just in this show.
Just because of me. Subscribers go up, subscribers go down. We've generally been going up. We're about to hit 100,000. Tell your friends.
Yes.
We're here every day. We work our butts off.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. PG Center. Yes, the name, the channel name is Bounce, powered by the Thaiger Bounce. But yes, it will be called Bounce by itself. There's a whole story as to why it's called Bounce. We will tell you on the channel itself, so stay tuned for that. All right. As for us, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed today's show. We hope you found it informative. It might have gone on a bit too long, but it is what it is. And Tim's
I'm off to
do his paperwork. Yeah, he's off to immigration. They're definitely not going to renew your passport or visa, whatever it is.
I might be kicked out this
after
afternoon.
this episode. And that's it. We hope you had a great day, and we will see you tomorrow on Friday.